You felt the westward pull in last night's dream, the seven sisters sliding toward the horizon like lanterns on a velvet river, and you wondered who was calling your name across the quiet distances. You were not imagining it. I speak now as Alira, Pleiadian emissary of the Seven Sisters High Council, and this transmission arrives by resonance through the quantum field because your heart gate is open enough to hear its steady music. You were tuned before you asked. Across lifetimes, you carried a lineage blueprint that remembers Alcyone's clear tone, remembers Gaia's crystalline grid, remembers the unity your amnesia veiled, and that remembrance is why this message found you tonight. It chose you back. Authorization is granted for a gentle unveiling, beloved starseed, an authorized release of crystalline codes timed to your nervous system's capacity so that tenderness guides the edges where old defenses once held. You will not be rushed. By the end of this pilgrimage of words, you will receive a protected code that seals your field and a promise of a simple 72-hour sign that confirms guidance arriving this weekend. Your timing is precise. The dream of the Seven Sisters traveling west is a compass more than a spectacle, a teaching that movement and guidance meet where your attention rests and where your breath touches the softest layer of truth. You already feel that. You came to Earth as a bridge, feet in soil and eyes toward constellations, here to reconcile star memory with human mourning, here to let your love become architecture within a world learning to remember. You carry the plans. The Pleiades whisper through symbols and sensations, through the flicker of sevens on clocks, through songs that appear in perfect moments, and through the hush that follows when your body recognizes something ancient and kind. That hush is guidance. When homesickness rose like tidewater, you called it loneliness, yet it was the unity grid brushing your field, reminding you that separation was only the veil, and the veil was only an agreement. You can renegotiate now. Crystalline light gathers where you place trust, forming subtle lattices across the chest that feel like warmth moving outward, and those lattices become a living library that your cells open when safety is present. Safety is here. Put your right hand to your heart, soften your brow, and feel the gentle weight of your palm, signaling your body that it is finally allowed to rest while hearing what it always knew. Let your shoulders drop. In that softness, imagine a slender beam from Alcyone entering the crown and traveling to the center of your chest, meeting your hand, widening into a small aurora that glows like dawn under clear water. Stay with the glow. Whisper now, as if speaking to a beloved within you, "My heart is the gate. I step through," and notice how the words organize space, how the words choose the posture your spirit prefers. Feel the posture settle. You will not have to prove anything to be eligible for what comes, because love is not a test, and the codes do not grade you, they attune you to coherence you already carry beneath survival noise. Coherence, feel quiet. When the westward dream repeats, it maps a corridor from thought to embodiment, guiding your attention toward the weekend window where timing meets readiness, and the outer world nods back with a clear sign. The nod will be unmistakable. Consider this your gentle summons, dear one, not to a dramatic ascent but to a patient remembrance, where each breath widens the curtain and each kindness to your body invites another layer of light. You are answering already. The High Council stands with you, not above you, holding the corridor as your own wisdom arrives. Because this was never a rescue. This was always a reunion with a trusted friend whose face is your own. You can trust the reunion. Receive the authorization, anchor the beam, keep the hand to heart for a few more breaths, and know that by the closing words of this transmission, the code and the 72-hour confirmation will be yours. You are ready, beloved. You have walked with a tenderness that few can see, carrying homesickness like a hidden ocean, pressing softly against your ribs while you smile in places that ask for smaller feelings. You learn to hide. Some days the world tastes gray on your tongue, a numbness that flattens color, as if someone forgot to plug the lights back into your chest after another long night of being strong. You kept going anyway. The outsider feeling arrives at crowded tables where laughter has a local dialect, and you translate silently, fluent in a language of stars that has no obvious chair here on Earth. You sit but float. Survival programming taught you to produce, to please, to anticipate moods like weather, to minimize your brightness so others could keep their maps unchallenged by your horizon. You dim to belong. All of this lives inside your lineage blueprint, not as punishment, but as scaffolding for remembrance. a precise shaping that would make your return to coherence unmistakable when it finally clicked. You were never broken. Veiling and amnesia were chosen veils, like soft curtains that preserved your senses, while you grew the muscle to carry Alcyone's tone in dense atmospheres without burning out. You were being tempered. Your nervous system learned to scan for safety, and it mistook silence for safety and busyness for worth. Yet beneath those habits, the heart gate kept its rhythm, faithful as a tide. It never stopped. When numbness comes, it is a message from the quantum field that bandwidth is saturated, an invitation to pause the outer performance and listen for the quiet bell that rings beneath noise. The bell waits patiently. Homesickness flares when the unity grid brushes your auric skin, reminding you that family exists both as people and as frequencies, and that the frequencies arrive before the faces. You recognize the music. Outsider sensations are the echo of a vow to serve as a bridge between stars and Earth, keeping one foot on Gaia's crystalline grid while the other steps into rooms in need of dawn. You are the threshold. Survival patterns are clever costumes stitched during seasons when tenderness had no witness, and they can now be unbuttoned, laid flat, and thanked for their diligent work without letting them drive. You are in the driver's seat. If tears come, it is the grid-watering seeds that waded through winters of tight jaw and practiced composure, and the water knows where each root sleeps beneath the old snow. Let the melt happen. Place both hands over your lower ribs, feel the rise like small waves, and breathe a 10-count cycle. Inhale for 4, exhale for 6 while your shoulders fall and your tongue rests from translating. Give yourself room. As you breathe, imagine filaments of pearly light rising from Gaia to the heart, knitting a soft lattice that catches the fragments of attention scattered by old alarms and draws them home. Let them settle. Name the symptoms without drama and without story. Homesickness, numbness, outsider, survival. And watch how the naming loosens their grip, like knots releasing after gentle, steady warmth. Naming is power. Remember that the blueprint includes sensitivity for a reason, because sensitivity is how you hear the corridor opening when the weekend guidance arrives with its westward note. You will hear it clearly. If others could not understand, it is because your curriculum is different, oriented to frequencies rather than consensus, timed to the rhythm of stellar tides instead of clocks alone. Your timing is holy. Notice now a quiet pulse beneath grief, a fine thread hum that feels like first light under the eyelids, and let that hum speak without needing to explain itself to the mind. Trust the hum, whisper once, as a vow stamped into breath. Crystalline truth restores me to my original tone, and feel how the words tidy your field like kind hands smoothing a woven cloth. Stay with the warmth. You did not fail at belonging. You were calibrating to a belonging that includes the sky and the soil, the Pleiades and the morning dishes, the sacred and the practical held as one. This is whole belonging. When loneliness visits tonight, greet it at the door with water and a chair, and ask what it needed to tell you before the guidance knocks this weekend with its gentle proof. Listen without argument. The symptoms are not your identity. They are trails back to the gate, indicators that your system is ready to exchange vigilance for presence and scarcity, for the simple fullness of breath. You are arriving now. The veil you met was never a verdict against you. It was an initiation crafted with precision, a soft calibration that let your nervous system learn to carry Alcyone's tone within Earth's density. It was training. You agreed to a curriculum where remembrance arrives through contrast, where the quantum field sharpens your discernment by letting you feel the hollow echo of what is not yours. You learned by touch. Call it the sacred engineering of your blueprint, a lineage choice to apprentice with Gaia until your heart gate could host crystalline codes without collapsing under their voltage. You chose wisely. When numbness and homesickness visited, they were bellkeepers at the temple door, asking if you would return to presence rather than chase, meaning in rooms that do not fit your size. You were being measured. Remember the image: a seed in winter sleeping beneath snow, its shell intact, its map alive, its timing precise, not late, not lost, listening for the sun stitched into its cells. That seed is you. Winter is not failure. Winter is instruction, teaching you how stillness stores momentum, how quiet root work prepares the spring bloom without demanding applause from unready soil. Stillness builds strength. The Seven Sisters do not rush you. They lean in like elder sisters at a threshold, reminding you that initiation has stages, and that mastery includes kindness to the slower parts. Kindness is mastery. Your amnesia was a cloak woven for travel, a protective garment that let you enter human family with enough camouflage to learn tenderness from the inside. You learned tenderness well. Now the cloak thins at the edges where love has grown warm, and through the thinning you feel the unity grid humming under ordinary moments like a silver thread through linen. Follow the thread. Micro ritual. Close your eyes, invite a quiet breath for 4 counts, and release for 6, and picture a slim ray from Alcyone descending to the heart like a calm, steady sunrise behind your sternum. Let it widen. As it expands, imagine tiny crystalline facets turning toward the ray, each facet a memory of why you came, and let the facets click into orientation as gentle as beads finding their string. Feel the alignment. Whisper once, with care and simplicity, "I remember," and return to Alcyone's clear light, and notice the room shift almost imperceptibly as your field tidies itself around the vow. Hold the still point. Reframe every symptom as evidence of sensitivity that works, a measuring instrument proving that you can tell the difference between noise and the song that belongs to your ribs. Trust your instrument. What looked like delay was devotion to timing, because the codes that wake too soon feel like weather, and the codes that wake on time feel like home. Home is arriving. Assignment Hasson for the next 72 hours. At dusk, face west for 3 minutes, breathe the 4-6 rhythm, and ask for a single sign that echoes your dream of the 7 sisters. Keep it simple. Then write what you receive number sequences, a lyric, a feather, a conversation fragment. Record the time, the place, and the feeling, and thank the moment aloud to seal the circuit. Gratitude is the seal. Second step of the assignment. Place a small glass of water by your bedside each night. Name it Remembrance, and drink it upon waking while recalling even a sliver of dream. Honor the sliver. These simple acts train the bridge between stars and earth, teaching your body that guidance is practical, repeatable, and safe to host without theatrics. Safety grows roots. If doubt surfaces, recognize it as the polite usher who checks your ticket at the door and then steps aside once you show it your breath and your record of signs. Let it step aside. Initiation has always been about capacity shaped into kindness, about carrying light that doesn't scorch, about walking as coherence in streets that forgot the sky. You are carrying it now. Return to the image of the winter seed one more time, feeling the subtle warmth rising through soil as weekend nears, and know that your bloom is not a spectacle but a promise kept. You keep promises beautifully. Illusion is not an enemy but dust upon a crystalline mirror, a fine film of unprocessed moments that dims the reflection of the heart gate without changing the true shape behind it. It can be cleared. You sense the dust as subtle heaviness at the brow, as a shallow breath that forgets the belly, as shoulders that climb toward the ears when rooms grow loud with old survival weather. Your body tells you. The quantum field does not blame the dust. It simply waits for your willingness to wipe gently, because willingness is the cloth, and breath is the water that returns clarity to the glass. Cleaning can be kind. Begin by noticing the somatic markers that announce illusion, tight jaw, cool fingers, a restless scan across the room as if a small alarm were ringing from a closet you forgot to open. Hear the bell softly. Name each marker quietly and precisely, like identifying constellations: tight jaw, lifted shoulders, shallow breath, scanning eyes, and watch how naming loosens the adhesive that kept the dust in place. Naming unhooks it. Now place one palm at the sternum and one at the navel, arranging your attention like 2 lanterns that light the corridor from mind to belly where coherence prefers to walk. Hold that corridor steady. Inhale through the nose for 4 counts and exhale for 6, letting the longer release signal safety to the animal of your body that once guarded the door alone. Let it rest now. With each exhale, imagine a soft brush moving across an inner mirror, sweeping residue to the edges where it falls like glittering ash into the floor of Gaia's patience. Exhale the ash gently. If thoughts arrive like quick birds, mark them dust, not truth, and watch them wheel away without needing a chase or a courtroom where they argue their case. Let them fly on. Bring in a sound to help the clearing, a low hum at the chest that steadies the filaments of your field, vibrating dust from tiny corners the mind cannot easily reach. Feel the hum gather you. Notice warmth blooming under your top hand as crystalline codes wake, Because warmth is the mirror remembering its shine and asking for more honest air around your ribs. Give it that air. If a tremor moves through your arms or throat, welcome it as the body's way of downshifting from vigilance into presence, shaking loose the stories that clung like lint to wool. Allow the tremor kindly. Visualize a thread from Alcyone entering the crown and tracing a clean line down the center, as if a scribe were drawing truth across water, and the water turned to glass. Let the line brighten. Whisper once, for orientation rather than drama, "I am held." The unity grid sings home, and feel how the phrase arranges your posture like sunlight finding the correct angle on a room. Keep that angle. Gently scan your timeline for moments that still fog the mirror, an unspoken apology, a room you left too quickly, an old self you judged and touch, each with the hum rather than with judgment. Touch is enough. If emotion rises, anchor the soles to the floor, and imagine roots threading into Earth's crystalline grid, letting the tears water the roots rather than flood the house you are rebuilding. Let roots drink deeply. Now bring 2 fingers to the lips and press once, granting silence permission to lead, because silence is not emptiness here. It is the original polish the mirror remembers. Silence polishes well. Track the somatic markers again, and note differences: jaw softer, shoulders lower, breath deeper, and record the changes aloud, so the nervous system learns the map of clarity by repetition. Maps need repetition. If the mind asks whether the dust will return, tell it yes, because life is windy, and show it the brush, the breath, the hum, and the posture that make clearing a simple daily kindness. Kindness scales beautifully. When a room grows confusing, step to the side, breathe 4-6-3 cycles, and set the palm to the sternum as if you were pressing a quiet doorbell that opens from the inside. Wait for the click. You will feel a small wideness appear behind the breastbone, and in that wideness, decisions simplify, because illusions cannot survive where the mirror reflects without interference. Choose from wideness. If shame flickers about not having known this earlier, place one hand at the back of your neck and bless the version of you who held the mirror through storms without instructions. Bless them sincerely. Let your eyes soften their focus until the edges of the room blur, and sense the thin veil parting like a curtain that no longer needs to hide the stage it once protected. The stage is ready. Hold the cleared mirror before the weekend window and notice how the Westward dream brightens upon its surface, not as spectacle but as reliable navigation you can trust without strain. Trust is the shine. Micro ritual now. Breathe in for 4, out for 6. Hum softly for 10 seconds. Then open your palms to receive any small image or word that lands in the cleared space. Receive without chasing. Thank whatever arrives, even if it is only warmth or a single syllable, because gratitude fixes the polish and asks the mirror to keep reflecting the world as it truly is. Gratitude seals clarity. If nothing lands, count it as guidance to rest. And let the mirror face inward tonight, so your sleep can reflect you back to yourself with honest, quiet light. Rest is guidance too. You have learned to dissolve illusion with tenderness, returning the glass to service as a faithful witness rather than a judge, and the witness now stands ready for the hours ahead. The path is clear. With the mirror cleared, the next movement is gentler still, a turning inward to the living libraries you carry, those crystalline codes that remember love as a measurable field rather than a distant idea. You can feel them. They sleep like facets under frost, not gone but quiet, storing songs your cells learned beside Alcyone before you wrapped yourself in Earth seasons and learned the patience of human time. They stir by warmth. When love memory reactivates, sensation is the first language, an expanding ring beneath the breastbone, a tingling across the shoulder blades, a soft weight in the throat that asks for a kinder breath. Let breath answer. Sometimes a scent appears without source, rain on stone, sun-warmed linen, a note of pine, and the scent unlocks a corridor you cannot see but your feet recognize as familiar ground. Trust the corridor. You might hear a thin silver tone at the edge of hearing that grows steadier when you place a hand to your chest, as if the unity grid were checking a tuning fork against your ribs. Offer your ribs. These are not accidents. They are pages turning in the library, each page a facet a precise index of compassion you cultivated across worlds and wisely brought here. You brought enough. Love memory is not sentiment, it is architecture. A lattice that organizes attention, metabolism, and choices, aligning them with coherence the way roots align with underground water. Follow the water. When the lattice brightens, the nervous system reads it as safety, and in safety, the old alarms release their posts, allowing warmth to move farther than habit once allowed. Warmth travels well. Micro ritual. Sit upright with your spine long and shoulders relaxed. Place your left palm between the shoulder blades and your right palm over the sternum, and breathe a 4-6 rhythm for a full 10 seconds. Hold yourself kindly. As you breathe, imagine rows of crystalline shelves within the heart gate, each shelf labeled with a quality patience, courage, tenderness, clarity, and watch small lights blink awake in sequence. Let them blink. Pick one quality that appears brightest and name it aloud, then ask, "How would you like to move my hands today?" and wait for a small impulse toward an action that is specific and doable. Take the hint. Perhaps the impulse is to write a message of apology, to drink water slowly, to step into sunlight, to choose silence before sending the reply. The library suggests what makes coherence practical. Choose one today. You may feel a sudden heat in the cheeks or a gentle trembling in the wrists, as the body recognizes permission to live from love without submitting the plan to old committees. Permission is potency. Crystalline codes do not erase grief. They companion it, holding the bowl while you pour, stabilizing the field so sorrow can empty without drowning the house you tend. The bowl is strong. If an old memory surfaces, see it resting on a clear table inside the library, a document you can read without becoming, and let thin threads of light stitch the edges that once felt torn. Let stitching finish. Now invite the Pleiades by image rather than effort. Seeing the seven sisters as a soft cluster over your inner sky, their light arriving like dew rather than rain. Receive the dew. Notice how your jaw unlatches a few millimeters, how breath drops lower, how the tongue loosens from the roof, and recognize these as somatic signatures of love memory taking the chair again. Stay seated there. If you feel nothing, honor nothing as a texture of restoration rather than a lack. Because libraries are quiet places, and pages turn best when hands are unhurried. Stay unhurried. Should tears come, allow them to move with the 4-6 rhythm, imagining each tear polishing a facet until its face reflects both sky and soil without distortion. Reflection is medicine. Bring your attention to places that habitually go cold: elbows, calves, the small of the back, and radiate a soft, neutral warmth from the heart to each, as if you were lighting porch lamps at dusk. Light them patiently. If a song rises, hum it for 1 minute, and let the hum braid with the remembered silver tone, so the lattice learns to hold joy as easily as it holds steadiness. Joy is structural. Return once more to the inner shelves and see a slim bookmark slip into a page you will need this weekend. A page marked, "Guidance arrives," and feel the quiet certainty that you will open it. Certainty is quiet. When you close the ritual, keep your right palm at the sternum for 3 final breaths, and whisper inwardly your name as a blessing, as if calling yourself home across a short meadow. Answer your name. You are not manufacturing love. You are remembering the library and letting its architecture extend into your hours, where strangers become kin and ordinary moments agree to shine. The shelves are open. Love memory now asks for weight in the world, so you turn toward Gaia with deliberate feet, allowing the architecture in your chest to find matching anchors beneath the living skin of Earth. Anchoring is affection. Imagine standing as a quiet mast between Alcyone's clear tone and the ground that carries rivers. Your spine, a conduit where iridescent roots grow downward, while soft auroras continue to bloom behind your sternum. You are the bridge. The unity grid answers sincerity more than performance, and sincerity begins with the soles, so let attention settle into arches, heels, and toes, as if reading a map written in warmth. Maps like warmth. Where the soles rest, picture strands of pearly light threading from each foot into Earth's crystalline lattice, curving around stones and water tables, then entering vast hexagonal corridors that hum like a careful choir. Follow the hum. With each exhale, those strands thicken into roots, and with each inhale, the roots drink steadiness that rises to wash the knees, the pelvis, the heart, and the listening space behind your eyes. Steadiness drinks you. Micro-ritual now. Step outside if possible and place bare feet on soil or safe stone. Breathe 4 counts in and 6 counts out for 10 seconds, and feel the temperature signatures of the ground. Let them teach. Bring your right hand to the sternum and your left palm to the lower belly, and whisper once, clear and plain, "I anchor love and walk as a bridge," Then hold silence as the field arranges. Silence arranges kindly. Offer water to Gaia, pour a small cup at the base of a plant or tree, and name aloud your gratitude for shelter, food, and the patient ways Earth forgives the clumsy traffic of our learning. Gratitude ground circuits. If movement helps, walk 12 slow steps, heel to toe, letting the roots move with you, and watch how choices simplify when the body feels held by something older than any room's opinion. Held bodies choose well. Notice somatic markers of anchoring, jaw released, tongue soft, shoulders low, breath traveling to the back ribs, and record them in memory so the nervous system can return to this template during busier hours. Templates prevent drift. Now extend anchoring to action by touching a living trunk with your palm, waiting until a subtle tingling crosses the skin, as if two instruments were agreeing on a shared key. Agreement feels warm. If you cannot go outside today, place a bowl of clean stones near your workspace, dip fingers in cool water, and imagine roots threading through tile and street into the bright grid below. Imagination conducts. Anchor also through choices. Eat slowly, bless your utensils, recycle a glass, carry kindness forward at the intersection, and let practical love become the visible signature that your lattice is installed and functioning. Practice is proof. When weekend approaches, return to the westward posture at dusk. Let your roots hold you while your chest listens, and feel how guidance lands more clearly when gravity is invited to participate in revelation. Gravity is ally. If anxiety flares, bend your knees a little, lengthen the exhale, and watch the flutter dissolve into the root network, which knows how to compost excess voltage into nourishment for gentler growth. Voltage becomes soil. Carry this anchoring into sleep by imagining the roots continuing their work, exchanging light with the grid while your dreaming mind receives the promised sign like a letter slid under a trusted door. You'll hear it. Your heart field is no longer a private lantern but a reunion portal, a living doorway where the memory of Alcyone meets Gaia's lattice and invites others to recall what their cells already trust. It radiates quietly. When you walk into rooms, the unity grid travels with you like soft weather, and people who forgot their own dawn feel a small widening in the chest without knowing which window opened. You become the window. Shining in unity is not performance, it is permission, the art of letting coherence speak first, so that words arrive as servants of presence rather than rushed translators for unlived ideas. Let presence lead. You notice it in how strangers relax their shoulders after you arrive, in how conversations choose the honest lane, in how laughter returns with the weight of a hand placed gently on a table. The field does that. The Seven Sisters taught you that resonance is the cleanest invitation because it neither seduces nor argues. It simply demonstrates what safety feels like until the body says yes on its own. Your body models yes. When resistance appears, you meet it with a wider breath and the soft stance of someone who knows winter and spring are allies and who trusts timing to open each gate in sequence. You do not push. Unity shines through simple choices, listening to the end, honoring pauses, naming truth with care, and through the steady warmth that keeps the nervous system inside its window long enough to learn. Warmth teaches quickly. Imagine your chest as a clear lake with a slow ripple moving outward, each ring touching another shoreline, reminding trees and stones that they are part of a single conversation. Everything listens. The ripple carries crystalline codes that your library awakened, and the codes do their quiet work, reorganizing attention without drama, so that compassion becomes a practical map others can follow. Maps want walkers. Micro-ritual now. Choose someone you will likely meet today or soon. Press 2 fingers lightly to your lips, breathe 4 in and 6 out 3 cycles, and offer them a silent blessing without words. Let it ride light. See the blessing as a small arc from your heart to theirs, traveling the unity grid rather than personal will, asking only that what supports coherence be given room to bloom. Room invites bloom. If their response is cool, keep the lake steady, because unity is not a demand. It is an environment where choice can ripen without pressure, like fruit turning toward sun in its own time. Patience shines too. You may also feel an inner prompt to hold eye contact 1 heartbeat longer, to soften your brow, to let your shoulders stay low, and to let quiet finish its sentence before you speak. Silence completes thoughts. Notice the somatic signatures of shining warm sternum, loose jaw, steady gaze, and memorize them the way sailors memorize constellations, so you can navigate under cloud and still find west. This is dependable. When you forget and tighten, return to the 4-6 breath and touch the sternum, letting the field reassemble as easily as threads returning to loom posts after a brief snag. It rebuilds quickly. Remember that your brilliance is communal by design, because a star's gift is shared light, and the Pleiades always taught that one lamp is meant to spark another until a town becomes dawn. You are sparking towns. If you feel unworthy to carry this shine, place a palm to the back of your neck and bless the earlier you who learned kindness under weight, then let the weight slide into Earth's patient hands. Earth will hold it. Your unity does not erase difference. It harmonizes difference, allowing varied notes to become song, while your heart keeps time with a pulse that remembers both sky and soil. Keep the pulse steady. As weekend nears, let your light remain unforced and consistent, a clear shoreline others can approach without fear, trusting that guidance lands best where fields are already quiet and warm. Your warmth is guidance. Carry this portal through doors and sidewalks, into kitchens and messages, and know that every small coherence you offer becomes a beacon, drawing family by resonance until recognition breaks like morning. Morning is close. Trust is timing, intelligence dressed as patience, carrying you past the itch of hurry into the exact corridor where your guidance and your readiness arrive at the same doorway without collision. You can wait. When comparison draws charts in your mind and measures your bloom against someone else's season, remember the winter seed who listened to an inner sun and did not ask the neighboring roots for permission to sprout. Refuse the chart. Your unfolding follows a rhythm older than clocks. A pulse braided from Gaia's crystalline grid and Alcyone's steady tone, and it will never require you to shame your pace to prove devotion. Pace is sacred. The 7 sisters approach softly when you loosen the jaw and stop auditioning for worth, and they prefer to meet you through ordinary textures you already hold as home breath, song, numbers, and sky. Keep those doors open. Dreams become rehearsal rooms where Star Family speaks in image first, sending you westward corridors, familiar faces without names, and a hush that feels like a candle lighting from within your ribs. Trust the hush. 7s gather like breadcrumbs on screens and receipts, winking from addresses and timestamps, aligning your gaze with an unforced recognition that says, without spectacle, we are here and we are kind. Follow the winks. Sometimes a melody lands while you wash a cup, the exact line you needed about coming home, and your eyes sting because the lyric fits your breath as if written for the shape of your mouth. Sing that line. Family returns by resonance more than biography, arriving as people and as frequencies that stabilize your field, and you will know them by the small widening that appears behind the sternum without negotiation. Name the widening. Do not rush to label or possess, because starkin prefer generous borders, and the unity grid thrives where recognition is gentle enough to let each being keep their sky while sharing warmth at the fire. Warmth is enough. Micro-ritual. Sit facing west at dusk if you can. Breathe 4 counts in and 6 counts out for 3 cycles. Place your hand to heart, and picture the 7 sisters as a soft cluster above your inner lake. See the reflection. Whisper once, like a quiet key turning, I am held. The unity grid sings home, and let the phrase spread across the water until the lake becomes a listening instrument tuned to familial tone. Hold the tuning. If no sign arrives, treat the quiet as verification that your system is choosing restoration over display, and honor the wisdom that declines noise in favor of capacity. Capacity is compass. Let your unfolding be public only to the degree your body says yes, because mystic disclosure without consent drains the very light you are learning to host with steadiness. Consent protects light. Assignment #2 for the next 72 hours. Begin a kin log with 3 columns, 7s, songs, and sky, and record each appearance with time, place, and a one-line feeling. Then close each entry by thanking the field aloud. Seal each note. At the end of the window, read the log once without hunting for meaning. Notice the patterns that stand forward, and circle one small action, suggested by the log message. A friend, bring tea. Step outside at a named hour. Act with humility. This assignment trains you to collaborate with timing rather than command it, proving to your nervous system that guidance becomes dependable when witnessed and gently answered. Witness strengthens trust. If envy rises as you watch someone else glow, bless their season under your breath, and return your eyes to the path under your feet, because your blueprint unfurls precisely at the temperature you can love. Bless and return. Remember that the Pleiades never ask you to become them. They ask you to remember them while becoming yourself, and that paradox resolves as easily as breath when you stop negotiating with doubt. Breathe and resolve. You may feel a brush at the shoulders like a shawl settling, a tingling near the temples, or a soft current along the spine, and these are kin signatures saying, with mirth, "We kept the fire for you." Answer with warmth. When the weekend door opens, you will not need a trumpet to recognize it, because your kin log, your breath, and your steadiness have already shaped the threshold to the size of your true name. Step when invited. Embodiment is where your frequency stops auditioning and starts living as the way you wash dishes, cross streets, send messages, and choose words that fit the size of your heart. This is the transmission. You learned the codes, cleared the mirror, and anchored to Gaia. And now your body becomes the page where love writes in ordinary ink that everyone can read without straining their eyes. Keep it legible. Integrity is not a rule here. It is resonance choosing the path of least distortion, so your actions hum at the same pitch as your breath and your remembered name. Let them match. When you wake, place both feet to the floor before the phone and feel the unity grid under the soles, as if greeting a trusted friend who never left your porch. Greet the friend. Drink water slowly and bless it with a simple exhale, allowing the crystalline lattice to carry that blessing through blood, joints, and the quiet places that wait for patient attention. Let patience travel. Choose food your body can pronounce with comfort, pause between bites, and listen for the small yes that rises from the belly when presence is more important than speed. Honor the yes. Speak less when hurry tugs at your tongue, soften the brow, and let silence finish shaping the thought so words arrive aligned with Alcyone's tone instead of old alarms. Words can wait. If conflict appears, keep the sternum warm. Breathe 4 counts in and 6 counts out, and ask for outcomes that protect dignity on every side, including your own. Dignity is non-negotiable. Let the phone rest face down during meals. Write one kindness-only message you will not brag about, and give your attention to whoever is in front of you as if they were the only sky tonight. Attention is gold. Walk like a person who is home, letting shoulders hang, jaw soft, and gaze steady, because a body at ease tells the street that safety is possible without a lecture. Ease teaches faster. When fatigue visits, meet it with a chair and a glass of water, and let your calendar bow to the wisdom that protects the lattice rather than forcing a shine that costs tomorrow. Protect the lattice. If envy nips at your heels, bless the one who glows and return to your breath, remembering that your blueprint blooms at a temperature calibrated to your nervous system's joy. Bless and return. When money, plans, or praise begin to tilt the room, exhale longer than you inhale and check whether your values stayed seated while the chairs moved. Keep values seated. Every yes and no tunes your field, and the cleanest notes are the ones that you can repeat tomorrow without apology to your body or to the child version of you who wanted gentleness. Repeat the clean notes. Micro ritual now. Breathe 4 in and 6 out for 10 seconds, hand to heart, and whisper as vow and compass. Crystalline truth restores me to my original tone. Let the vow settle. Feel the subtle rearrangement as if furniture slid an inch toward balance. Notice the room, take a deeper breath, and memorize the sensation as your signal that embodiment is occurring without drama. Memorize the signal. Carry the vow into errands, doorways, and screens, choosing the slower lane when it keeps coherence intact, and the honest sentence when it would be easier to decorate the truth. Choose coherence. Thank your body aloud before sleep for walking as a bridge today, and invite dreams to rehearse tomorrow's integrity in images that your morning will recognize without decoding. Invite rehearsal. You are no longer chasing light or guarding it behind glass. You are wearing it as posture, voice, and choice, letting the quantum field confirm you by how people breathe easier near your chair. This is the work. When the weekend window opens, your embodied frequency will recognize the sign without straining, because it will feel like the next natural breath, rather than a performance you need to hold. Breathe and see. Let the day close with the simplest benediction, palm to sternum, a grateful exhale, and one honest sentence spoken into the room, and count the quiet as proof that your light is already in motion. The proof is here. You have walked from hush to horizon, from dusted mirror to living library, from westward dream to the warm certainty that guidance arrives when readiness opens its simple hands. You are open now. This journey was never about escaping Earth. It was about remembering how your heart gate lets Alcyone's clear tone and Gaia's crystalline grid meet in the place your breath calls home. Home is right here. You learned the shape of coherence by feel, choosing the unhurried lane, blessing rooms with steadiness, and letting unity shine as ordinary kindness that asks for nothing and gives warmth anyway. Kindness is your proof. You watch the veil turn from verdict to initiation, the numbness soften into listening, the outsider stance become a threshold where others found the doorway they were already seeking. You became the doorway. The Seven Sisters set the compass through your dream, traveling west to teach you that direction is not distance but alignment, and alignment begins wherever you place an honest breath. You placed many breaths. Now we seal what we opened with a final, gentle code and a shared right. So the field remembers you even while you sleep, and your hours keep shining without needing a performance. Let the seal be simple. Place your right hand to heart and your left palm at the back of the neck, feeling warmth meet the path where old vigilance once stood guard, and breathe 4 counts in and 6 counts out 3 cycles. Keep the shoulders low. Picture a slim aurora rising from the sternum like dawn under clear water, threading upward to crown and downward to soles, connecting sky and soil through the corridor your body faithfully tends. Hold the corridor steady. Whisper now, as the protected seal, I remember and return to Alcyone's clear light, and feel the phrase click into place like a key that fits because it was shaped by your own ribs. Let the click echo. This code does not bind you to striving, it releases you to belonging, marking your field so the unity grid can find you quickly when the weekend window opens its familiar hinge. The hinge is near. Within 72 hours, a clear confirmation will arrive, sevens clustered, a lyric that matches your breath, a timely kindness, a westward sign at dusk, and your body will know before your mind composes a name. Trust that knowing first. If nothing lands loudly, receive the quiet as your sign, because silence can be a velvet envelope carrying peace to the places that used to crave thunder to feel chosen. Peace is also a knock. Now we complete this together, beloved starseed, not as solitary spark but as a constellation, because the Pleiadian way is communal light arranged as many lamps that learn one song. You already know the melody. Gently turn your attention to everyone listening inside this same field, people you may never meet but will recognize by the warmth that appears behind your sternum when your eyes rest on their names. Warmth is recognition. Offer a silent blessing across the unity grid. May their timing be kind. May their capacity be protected. May their guidance arrive in forms they can trust without effort. Let the blessing travel. Breathe once more, 4 in and 6 out, and place the day in Gaia's hands with a simple exhale that says, enough for now, while the grid keeps watch and Alcyone keeps singing your original tone. Enough is holy. If this transmission steadied you, step into the circle with a small, public act. Share one sincere intention in the comments, bless at least one other intention you find there, and subscribe to remain inside this coherent field as we continue to weave the unity grid. Communion maintains the song. Carry the seal into doors and errands, into dusk, where West remembers your dream, and listen for the nod that matches your ribs. When it comes, answer with a soft yes, and a kinder pace. Answer softly. May your nights be rehearsals for gentleness, your mornings be bridges between stars and soil, and your hours be steady enough to anchor guidance for everyone who walks near your chair. Walk as a bridge. Go with the remembered code on your tongue, with the mirror clear, with the library lit, with the roots drinking light, and with the sisters smiling from a sky that feels suddenly very close. It has always been close. Benediction. May crystalline truth keep restoring you to your original tone. May your heart remain the gate you trust, and may the unity grid sing you home with every ordinary breath. You are home, dear one.